That was a rough game against New Mexico.
That was my lead story on KUSI on Saturday morning. I do the big sports package at 6:30 Saturday morning while you were snoring in zine logs.
That's early, 6:30 in the morning.
Dude, if I can get up at 4:30 on Saturday, to be on the air at 6:30,
I've
you can
watched
get up.
you a few times on that.
Yeah, it is bleeping brilliant. I asked the question, if you could describe what happened Friday night at Snapdragon Stadium. The Aztecs lost to New Mexico 21-16. Would you use the words out-toughed, out-schemed, out-coached, out of gas? It was deplorable. New Mexico, 130th ranked defense in the country, and San Diego State could only score one touchdown against the 130th ranked team in the nation. Aztec defense, they got gashed all night. They gave up 51 and 67-yard touchdown runs. They gave up 476 yards to New Mexico's offense. And then Bronco Mendenhall, the first-year coach, who took over what I think might have been the worst program in the country in Albuquerque. He's recruited pretty well. He came to the line of scrimmage against a freshman quarterback, Danny O'Neill, and he showed him a three-man front. Rush 3, drop 8. Danny O'Neill stood in the pocket. They hardly ever got to him. He couldn't find receivers. He wound up scrambling. He wound up throwing incompletions. He wound up forcing it into coverage. All their chunk plays went away. I mean, it was really a poor performance by what I think is a tired team. They ran Marquez Cooper, their top running back, 35 times. He only had 123 yards rushing because everything in that New Mexico defense was in front of them. So they see handoff, linebacker secondary makes the tackle. They see play action. They see Cooper on a sweep, helmets to the ball. New Mexico did it. I thought Mendenhall did a phenomenal job. So now they're 3-6, and they look fatigued on defense. It looks like people have figured them out. They're not getting a lot of chunk plays on offense any longer. Just not real productive. And next week they go to Las Vegas. They go to UNLV, which used to be one of the worst programs in the country. And thanks to a coaching change and the importation of a guy who used to be at the University of Arkansas, suddenly UNLV, they're winning. They're in second place in the Mountain West Conference. So the Aztecs, they could be 3-7 by the time they get home. And the worst scenario of all, nobody cares. You know what the attendance was? 12,773. That was in the stadium.
What's the capacity? It's like around
32.
32.
12,000. All-time worst attendance at San Diego State since they moved into the shiny new stadium at Snapdragon.
That's more than half empty.
And they gave away free tickets, too. Every season ticket holder got 2 free tickets. Nobody showed up. It was a Friday night football game and a team that was 3-5 playing New Mexico, but nobody showed up. And now they're 3-6. Ooh, it's just, they're checking off all the boxes of all the bad things that could happen to a football program that was pretty good for a chunk of time with Rocky Long and Brady Hoke. It's going to take time. I'm not anti-Sean Lewis. It's just going to take time. But where the hell are the alumni? Where the hell is the student body? 12,773, all-time worst record. And actually, I was talking to a columnist today coming out of the Aztec press conference. I broadcast San Diego State football. They're drawn 40 to 50,000 every night. The Marshall Falk era. And
Those are good times.
It was all gone away. It's really stunning. So we got that. You're an Aztec fan. You can agree with me. You can disagree. You can defile the alumni and the student body. Give us your opinion of what's happened. Man, oh man, the college football scoreboard on Saturday was upside down. It's hard to believe how many marquee teams got beat. University of Miami lost to lowly Georgia Tech. Cam Ward, Heisman Trophy candidate, he put on a show, threw for 348 and 3 touchdowns, but he fumbled at the end. But Miami's defense just could not get off the field. Georgia Tech was running options and wishbones and RPOs, and Georgia Tech beat unbeaten Miami. Man, that was a shocker. Georgia, they got beat. They got ambushed. Biggest win for Lane Kiffin at Oxford. Ole Miss at home beat Georgia. Jackson Dort put on a pretty good show, had like 245 all-purpose yards. And Christian Beck, he threw for yards, but he didn't throw many touchdown passes. So Georgia gets knocked out of the top 5, just like Miami got knocked out of the top 5 in the polls. Alabama came back and made LSU's life really miserable. Alabama posted a pretty impressive win. Jalen Milroe, who's been in a bit of a slump, 185 yards rushing, 109 yards passing. Boise beat Nevada. Heisman hopeful Ashton Jeanty, another 200-yard game, goes for 209 and 3 touchdowns. And Indiana, for the first time in history, is 10-0. Never been done before. Indiana football school? You kidding me? Kurt Warwick, the transfer from Ohio U, gets them a victory over Michigan. Come from behind win, won on a field goal at the end. The Hoosiers are 10-0 on the season. The ratings, the polls keep getting flipped week by week. So we'll see when the bowl poll comes out on Tuesday how far down Miami and Georgia drop, because they're going to have to drop. So, John, college football, the table belongs to you.
I'm really happy about Indiana. I mean, I really am. They're number 5 now. They're undefeated. And yeah, I mean, they had some success with Michael Vick there, but you'd have to go back like a million years when they were any good. But it's nice that they beat Michigan. I mean, that's got to be such a big deal for that university, that community. The Aztecs, though, man, I want them to be successful.
Sure.
I want them, and I'm willing to give them a lot of slack because they basically had to blow everything up. They had to nuclear bomb everything, bring in new players, new coach, new system, new everything.
And the whole offensive line's hurt.
Oh, it just adds to the mess. So I kind of feeling it for Sean Lewis. I know there's a lot of fans that are saying, hey, the Clippers just opened up that new arena in Oceanside for their G League team, and they're giving out lots of freebies and discounted drinks and bring the family and 4-packs of tickets and getting creative. But it seems like the Aztecs don't want to lose that price integrity that they originally set, because maybe they can't go back to it.
Yeah, but they got empty seats everywhere, and you're still asking for $200 to $1,200 for the best seats in the house, and you have to pay a stadium fee on top of your season ticket. I mean, it's a money grab beyond belief, and the community has said, not me, not with this product, not on that conference. And now you tack on a bad season on top of it. And, Sean Lewis, it's his program. I understand that. I'm not going to blame him outright. But what they're running right now is not working. It's a byproduct of player turnover. They had 42 guys go transfer portal. It's a byproduct of all the injuries in the offensive line and a young quarterback who I think is going to be really good. But boy, the community is they've turned their back on him. They're turned off to Aztec football. It's a football city that lost its NFL team, and all these displaced NFL fans have never gone to San Diego State. Not in the Brady Rocky era, and surely not now.
Well, San Diego loves a winner, right? I mean, they're all bandwagon fans here. So yeah, it's down on the Aztec alum for not being there. But I mean, how was Sean Lewis at the press conference this morning? I mean, he couldn't have been a real happy guy.
Shortest press conference we've had all season with him. I asked him 2 questions. He didn't like the tone of my questions. That's okay. I'm asking about your defense. It's giving up 405 yards a game and gave up 476 yards to New Mexico. New Mexico. He'll flip it. He'll turn it. A year from today, better times are coming.
I hope so.
But to get from point A to point B, from where they are right now at 3-6, to get to where I think they should be next season, you have to have some things go right. And I don't see any of those things going right. Okay, that's all things college football. We get